Hi guys, Brian Crawl here from the Masculinism Movement channel, a place for men to be men and talk about masculinity and men's issues. I have an old video from my personal development company that I wanted to share with you, shot in the very beautiful Prague, the capital of Czechia, or the Czech Republic, which I shot from a beautiful location overlooking it, and which is on how to live above society and its system that it tries to get you entrapped and contained in. Now, this is not just some big anti-social, anti-society message. Rather the opposite. This is about how to live in society, but above its system. I was talking to a girl at the airport on my way here and talked to her about this message, and she said, well, can you actually live above society? Or how much can you live above society? And I said, well, as much as you want to, but you don't want to live outside of it. You don't want to be, a part from society, right? Society is a great place. It's a place where millions of people have come together to pool their resources and to build a civilization where everyone can thrive and succeed. Okay, so you definitely want to be a part of that, and you want to be able to utilize all of its resources and the ways in which it can help you to succeed and live your life to the fullest. But in becoming a part of society, most people get trapped in this system, consumerist paradigm, and the social conditioning of society, right? And the worker bee mentality, where you basically just, get a job as an employee, blindly obeying orders for meager wages, getting trapped into this lifestyle of going to work for most of the time that you have, only to then spend all of that money on things that society says that you need to be like everyone else, to be happy, and this whole mentality that, you're supposed to get paychecks and then just go out and spend them because spending money and buying things equals happiness. None of that stuff actually equals happiness. It's just a vicious circle that people get trapped in to try to fill a void inside themselves of lacking purpose, lacking identity, and such. So they fall prey to social conditioning, and they just take on the identity that society gives them, which is that of this worker bee trapped in this consumerist paradigm and all this social conditioning. Okay, so that's what you want to transcend while living in society, so that you can actually become successful, actually become fulfilled, and actually become happy, right? But of course, the question is, how do you live within society and be a part of it while also not falling prey to the social conditioning? How do you actually make money and have a life where you can, have society's resources, many of which cost money, without falling into this consumerist paradigm, without falling into this worker bee mentality, especially when you got this social conditioning that's telling you to do all this stuff that everyone else is doing, telling you to be like everyone else, etc. Well, the first thing you got to do is you got to find your own identity. You got to think for yourself and not let other people tell you who to be, what to do with your life, how to live, etc. Right? You also don't want to get the wrong job. You don't want to get a job that is a job you don't really want, and you're just doing it because you need money, right? Which a lot of people do. A lot of people, when I ask them why they chose the job that they chose, why they're passionate about that, they say, well, I'm not passionate about it, I just chose it because it pays. You don't want to fall into this employee identity where you just get a job that pays because you need stuff, right? And it's like, oh, well, gotta make money. And it's like, well, why? What are you doing with this money that's so important to you, right? I mean, really, are you doing things that are really important to you with this money? And that's the next thing, is that you need to manage your money well and make sure that you are investing it rather than just spending it, okay? Use your money on things that are very important to you, that are part of what you are really passionate about. Don't just fall prey to this, signing up for accounts everywhere, amassing bills, going out shopping every time you get a paycheck to amass things for your apartment that you barely spend any time in because you're working all the time to get money to buy this stuff and pay these bills, many of which you barely even use. I mean, honestly, right? Another thing you got to do is you got to stop listening to mainstream media. You got to stop watching the news, and you got to stop watching TV altogether and listening to the radio altogether. All right, find some real music to listen to. Watch movies that actually have some sort of moral, right? That have some art to them, that actually had a lot of effort and time and energy and creativity and thought and art put into them, right, and have certain meanings to convey to you, right? I mean, I'm not saying, you know, it's not fun to watch things on screens. There's movies out there that are meaningful. Don't fall prey to watching these dumbass shows like 2.5 Men and Big Bang Theory, which are just mindless entertainment where there's someone there pressing the laugh track anytime anyone says anything, and it's not really funny, right? And you get these commercial breaks that are like, you know, 5 minutes long. It's really just to sell you stuff and to dumb you down, okay? And don't listen to radio that is, you know, just corporate conglomerates that basically programmed a few popular songs to be on there, like, you know, it's the same songs every day, and then again, a lot of news and commercials that are meant to dumb you down, that are meant to program your mind in the way the mass media wants, and to sell you stuff, right? And stop watching things like Fox News. Stop watching, you know, these news channels where it's like they're just telling you about the bad stuff that happens, the car accidents and the crimes that are committed, and then it's just like a bunch of stupid stories like a cat stuck in a tree, you know, of course, the weather, and then just random propaganda of, you know, good government bullshit, like, oh, here, we're interviewing this soldier and he's talking about how much he likes America or something like that, you know, and they're not telling you the real news. They're not talking about Monsanto. They're not talking about Bernie Sanders. They're not talking about, you know, all that stuff that's going on. They're not talking about social activism stuff, you know, because this is propaganda that they're feeding you, okay? So that's the first thing, is don't fall into society's identity that their social conditioning is going to try to program you into by paying attention to mass media and by falling into this employee consumerist paradigm. Then once you begin actually managing your resources, meaning your time, your energy, and your money, you'll be able to have more freedom to do what you want. Are you sure to take your daily dose of red pills consistently so that you can stay out of the matrix? The red pill is a medicine that only works if you take it in the right dosage and never miss a dose. One missed dose of red pills can mean turning back into a blue-pilled limp dick simp under the sharp heel of the evil feminist matriarchy. So make sure you are subscribed and that your subscription is set to all so that you never have to miss one of your daily doses of the red pill, because I'm releasing hot new red pill content every single fucking day just to make sure you don't have to. So make sure you will actually get notified when they are released, because you know that YouTube doesn't want to show you things that don't align with its liberal leftist feminazi agenda, and it shadow bans content creators like me who use free speech to speak out against these politics and stand up for the rights of the oppressed masses of men like you and me. And if you want to help me keep fighting the good fight, please donate using the PayPal link below so that I can keep this work alive, because I simply cannot do it without the support of viewers like you. And be sure to spread these messages and share these videos with any other men you know who could use a nice big dose of red pills. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, I don't have a good job, so how do I save the money to have financial freedom? Well, if you don't have a good job, it probably would be a better investment for you to quit your job and look for a new one, or to become an entrepreneur, because being in a bad job is costing you more resources than it is giving you. It's costing you more time, energy, and money than it is giving you, okay? And there's so many creative ways to make money, okay? You could, for instance, rent an apartment that is like 3 rooms larger than what you need and rent out the other rooms. Then you have your rent paid for you and you get a little bit extra money every month. So that's just an easy, creative way to get what's called passive income, meaning money that you barely have to do anything to have coming your way. And then you'll have a little bit more freedom to work on building a better resume and getting a better job, or better yet, becoming an entrepreneur. And to become an entrepreneur, all you got to really do is figure out what you're most passionate about. And to become an entrepreneur, all you really got to do is figure out what you're most passionate about, what really motivates you, and how you can use your drive towards that to actually create a company or some sort of venture or service or trade around that, okay? And then figure out what expertise or skills you have in that area that you could offer for some amount of money, which should ideally not be a small amount of money, right? Because I mean, if you're creating like little $1 products, it's going to be hard to actually become rich and get financially free off of that, right? So, things that are areas of expertise that you have that you could become a consultant in the area of and sell people, consultations and such. That's something that just about anyone can do. Everyone has some area of expertise that they are passionate about, and you can sell that if you actually think about how you can systematize your knowledge and deliver it to people in some sort of structured consultation service or program. Okay, so that's just some food for thought for you. And then basically, once you have formulated your own identity and self-actualization and lifestyle that is going to be above the system of society and not allow you to fall prey to society's social conditioning and the system that it's going to try to suck you into, then you can start really utilizing all of the resources of society, right? And the ability to sell your services and your products, or to get very high-paying jobs. That's not something you could do if you were living out in the woods, right? And this is what I said to that girl that I was talking to. It's like, well, yeah, we don't want to escape society and go live out in the woods, right? We're not going to live better if we're doing that. We can live really well in society. You just have to not fall prey to this stuff, right? Another way to really utilize the resources of society is to be able to look for the healthy food that society provides, right? There's such an abundance of amazing food that gets imported from every part of the globe. In every civilization, they import all sorts of fruits and vegetables and other produce and food products, and you could look for the best foods in society. If you were living in the woods, food would be scarce, right? So look for the best foods in society, right? You can look for the best art forms in society, the best forms of music, the best movies, the best art galleries, and you could even become a part of an artistic community. You could look for the best books. There's libraries in society. This is one of the great ways to transcend that system. Go to the library, check out books for free that can increase your knowledge and help you to become more enlightened, more knowledgeable, more skilled, right, and more successful. Same thing with the internet. The internet is one of the great resources of society that you can use to study and amass knowledge, and also network with people, and create a website for the things that you're passionate about, or for your ventures or your company or whatever it is you stand for. You can create a website for that to get your messages out there and yourself out there, right, and help you to effectuate your life's purpose and whatever mission you have. Okay, so these are all some of the really amazing ways that you can self-actualize and transcend the system that society will try to trap you into, while still living in society and using all of its amazing resources that it has amassed for your success to help you to become self-actualized, to help you to become your best self, to help you to become successful and live the life of your dreams without falling prey to all that stuff, without having it limit you and keep you contained in some sort of little box. You can use your ergonomic resources for higher purposes, and you can use all of the resources of society to help you become self-actualized and live the life of your dreams and live above its system, right? And that is going to be a very, very powerful thing for you to do. And it's going to really help you to become fulfilled as a person and live your wildest dreams and fantasies, just like I'm doing here now in Prague and traveling the world. In 2 more days, I'm going to Barcelona, then Bangkok, then Bali, then Manila in the Philippines, and then I don't know where, maybe India or back to Europe. I'm traveling the world right now because I'm utilizing society's resources, such as transglobalization, the ability to travel anywhere, the ability to use the internet to help effectuate all of the things that I do as an entrepreneur, a traveler, a researcher, etc., and to just look for all of these best resources and use them while not getting sucked down into that system of social conditioning and such. Okay, and what's really amazing is that anyone can do this, all right? You don't have to be a trust fund kid. You don't have to be from a really well-off family. My family was lower to middle income. I grew up in the countryside, and then, when I moved into the city, it was actually a ghetto. I lived in hardship and struggled for many years because I was falling into this employee paradigm and falling prey to all of this systematized social conditioning and things that are meant to just take away your identity and your freedom and make you be part of this system while the 1% thrives off of you, right? And so I had to struggle for many years to try to find myself, find my way, find my life's purpose, and work at fulfilling it. right? And I was able to do that, and now I'm able to live above society's system while still using its resources, still being a part of it, and thus being able to live my dreams doing so. And you can too, right? And I mean, look how beautiful society is when you do that. When you're not struggling all the time because you're having your ergonomic resources as a human being leached off of you in what is called the matrix, right? And I mean, you walk around society all the time and you look at all these people who are so miserable. They're just so unhappy with themselves and their lives because society is stealing and robbing them of their ergonomic resources as human beings. They're exhausted all the time. They're not having fun. They're not satisfied or fulfilled. They go to work and then they get all of their energy and time stolen from them. They go home and they just sort of slump out of the couch and watch TV for a while. It's not a good life, eating unhealthy food, which again robs your energy, and then probably having friends who only want to go out to bars and get drunk because none of your friends are happy with their lives either, and spending a lot of that time intoxicated. It's not a good way to live, and this is how most people live. And of course, spending all of your paychecks on bills that you've got trapped into and this consumerist paradigm, right? That's not how you're going to get fulfilled, right? So use this advice. Transcend the matrix or the system of society that is robbing you of your ergonomic resources, right? Find some purpose and some passions to fulfill. Find yourself and your identity and become self-actualized in that, and live above society's system while still being a part of society and using its resources for your betterment and your growth and your self-actualization. And you will become fulfilled. You'll be able to live the life of your ultimate, wildest dreams, and then you'll get to be really, truly happy, okay? And not just the kind of happy that people think they are when they're, buying new stuff, right? That's false happiness. And you're gonna get to experience real, true happiness, okay? So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. That concludes this video. Thanks for listening. I hope I mansplained that good enough for you. If you like what you heard, please click the like button. And if you feel you gained some value from this video and would like to give some back, please do so with the PayPal link below, because your support helps fund me doing this work and fight the good fight for men like you. If you are ready to take the red pill and wake up from the matrix and the matriarchy controlling it and learn everything you need to know about female on male sexism, get your copy of my newly released book called Misandry Exposed, on sale now for a special price that won't last long. So check it out by clicking the link below. And otherwise, you can stay tuned for my next video coming out tomorrow. And otherwise, take care of yourselves, men, because no woman out there is going to.